Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sadashivasamarambam Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Narayanam Padmabhavam Vasishtam Shaktim cha Tatputra Parasharam cha Vyasam Shukam Gaudapadam Mahantam Govinda Yogindra Matasya Shishyam Sri Shankaracharya Matasya Padma Padam cha Hastamalakam cha Shishyam Tam Todakam Vartikakaramanyaan Asmadgurun Santatamanatosmi Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Bhagavat Padam Shankaram Loka Shankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Kridau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Samasta Jana Kalyani Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram. Namah Shri Shankarananda Guru Padam Bhujanmani Savilasa Mahamoha Graha Grasaika Karmani. Avidya Dvivida. Two kinds of ignorance, two aspects of ignorance, so to say. It is said in 26, that's where we start. Viksheba Vriti Rupabhyam Dvita Vidya Vyavastita Nabadi Nasti Kutastha Ityabhadanamavritihi Vikshepa Vrittirapapyam Vidya Vyavastita Nabhadi Nasti Kutastha Ityabhadanamavritihi. Avritihi, covering. Avarana is covering. Avaranam karodi avritihi. Dvivida vidya vikshepa avriti rupabhyam, of the nature of vikshepa, projection, and avarana or avriti. Iti dvivida vyavastita, it is established. Now the whole idea is that it is said in the Shastra that Maya or Avidya Dvivida iti. And how does it experience? How is it experienced by us? Kutastaha na bhati na janati. Nasti. Bhati na janami. Na jnatum shakyate. Meaning, I don't know and it doesn't exist. Two things. It doesn't exist and I don't know. Bhati means to know here, to shine. It is not coming to my awareness. Na asti, it doesn't exist. Kutastaha na asti, kutastaha na bhati. All that I know is my buddhi only. Vrittim janami na atmanam. Vrittihi asti na atma. Kyunki, what is the reason? Because we are all always aware of thoughts only and not the consciousness that illumines the thought. As much as the example that we saw, in the pot, the water is filled, and the water that is filled up to into the pot has the space. The space reflected in the water is known. It obscures as though the space that is there in the pot to begin with. The pot space alone has given room for the water in which the space is reflected. Therefore, the obscuring of that very pot space, and therefore one does not recognize it, see it. Therefore, it is not coming to my awareness, na bhati, and therefore, na asti. Na bhati, na asti kutastaha iti apadanam. This way of coming to know or coming to think is called avritihi. Now, interesting point is here. We have to slowly take it up, because this is the whole chapter is about who is the jiva. We saw that last class itself. What is the nature of jiva and why it is considered as the suffering soul earlier. Ayam jivaha na kutastam vivinakti kadachana. So this is verse number 26. Okay, yeah. Now, avidya na pratyaksham. Avidya is not a direct perception. So there is always a doubt. Avidya asti va nasti va. So Shastra, what it says, asti avarana rupena vikshepa rupena. So praman kya hai? Avidyayam pramana kya hai? Avidya ki praman kya hai? What is the means by which we know there is avidya, there is ignorance? Now that is taken up in the next verse. Verse number 27. Here, 27. Ajnani vidusha prushtah Kutastam na prabudyate Nabadi nasti kutastah Iti buddhva vadatyapi Ajnani vidusha pushtah Kutastam na prabudyate Nabadi nasti kutastah iti vadatyapi. What does say? How do you prove that there is avidya? You ask anybody who is not in this class, kutastaha asti va nasti va. What is the answer? Hey, ye kya hai? What are you talking about? Kutastha is somebody's name. So what does he say? I don't know. As far as I'm concerned, it doesn't exist. I don't know. It doesn't exist for me. because I have never seen in my life. I do not have any introduction to that person or thing. So here, Vidusha, by a person who is a man of knowledge, Ajnani Prushtah is being asked. Ajnani was asked by a Vidusha, a Viveki Purusha, Ajnani, a Guru, the person who is a man who has understanding of what it is. Kutastam Jana Siva. You don't say don't, no? Kutastam Jana Siva. Do you know? At least you know the name. Hai kuch. If you ask anybody else, Kutastam Jana Siva, na janami, na asti. So his answer is the second line, na asti na janati, na asti na bhati. It is not known, sanabhati. Na asti doesn't exist. Kutastaha. Why? Kutastam na prabudyate. Na janati saha. He doesn't know. Vidusha kutastam kim janasi idi prishte ajnani tam na janami iti ajnanam anubhuya vakti. This is a anubhava pramana. Anubhava pramana is, I don't know, even he says, this pramana is what you think. Anubhava pramana. Is it not true? That I don't know, when he says, that is a pramana for him. That is a pramana for what? Pramana for the existence of ajnanam. So, anubhava pramanena avidya asti eva. By the very fact that a person knows he knows not. What means he knows? By not knowing. So, anubhava, its own experience itself is a pramana. We will come to that a little later, more elaborately. So here, Avruti Swarupasya, Ajnanasya Swarupam Avrutihi. Avruti means Avaranam, Tirokaranam, covering up. Covering up of what? Something which is there, but a person says, I don't know. The very I don't know shows that it has been already obscured, covered up. Satchidanandam janasi va na janami na asti. Tad evam ajnanam sada anubhava rupatvad ajnanam asti. Jnanena tad baditam bhavishyati. Tasmat na anantam ajnanam. Ajnanam na anantam kasmat karanat jnanena baditam bhavati. By knowledge it can be falsified. So adi asti jnanasya, adina asti ajnanasya, parantu antam asti eva. Na anantam bhavati ajnanam. Ignorance may have no beginning, because earlier it said mula avidya anadi. Even though it is primordial, presence, apparently, but antam asti eva. Jnana utpatyanantaram. Parantu अज्ञानस्य प्रमाणम किम अनुभव है. अनुभव ही उसका प्रमाण है. So here, now interesting thing is, अज्ञानी विदुषा पृष्टः कूटस्थम न प्रबुध्यते. Kuttastham na prabudyate, he does not know that there is the presence of Kutastha, and therefore he says, Buddhva vadati api. Buddhva api vadati. The two ways we can see this word. Knowingly he says, I don't know. Buddhva api vadati na janati na bhati. Nasti na bhati. Two ways. One is that buddhva ajnanam buddhva api vadati. One meaning is knowing that he doesn't know, that therefore he says, I don't know. Buddhva ajnanam buddhva vadati api. One meaning is ajnanam buddhva vadati api. Having known this own ignorance, he speaks as well. One meaning. Atmanam buddhva api vadati anasti. Two meaning understood? If you don't understand. Ajnanam buddhva. I don't know that he knows. Vadati api. He speaks about it also. Saying, it is not there. I don't know. Second is, Atmanam buddhva api. Even, who knows? Who knows the don't know? Awareness is that he is aware of the absence of that knowledge. He is aware of kutastha. So, Atman, because I have to exist, I have to be conscious to even utter the word. What you do not know also, to say that you do not know, I must be a conscious person. You ask this one, do you know kutastha? Do you? Atmanam na janati saha janati. He doesn't know the self, and therefore it's not a sentient being. It is not a chetana vastu. Therefore it cannot say. Whereas aham chaitanya, I am of the nature of consciousness. Even though I do not know what that is, but aham chaitanya, that I know that I am aware, that I know that I am alive, that I know I exist. Atmanam buddhva, meaning Atmanam deha rupena buddhva api, buddhi rupena buddhva api. What does he say? I don't know. The two meaning. Ajnanam buddhva vadati api. Having understood the ignorance, he speaks about it also. Having known oneself being, yet he denies it. Atmanam buddhva api na asti na bhati iti viruddham bhavati. He speaks something other than it. Jan Bujke, knowing himself as a living being, conscious being, he denies that itself. Jnanam buddhva vadati api. Atmanam buddhva api vadati. The api goes where it is important. Vadati api. Buddhva vadati api. Vadati cha. Api here means cha. The first one, ajnanam buddhva vadati cha. Knowing and speaking about it. Other one is atmanam buddhva api vadati. Na bhati nasti. Even though he knows, he says, I don't know. It doesn't exist.
So the second part of it you said, is it ignorance or is it just to say that I don't know?
No, how do you know you don't know?
And the point is, the second point you said is, I know, but I am denying it.
No. Knowing means the very knowing principle I am, but I do not know what that is. But even though who knows? Kutastha alone knows. Yet, because of the obscurity of the ajnanam obscures it, therefore he says, I don't know. That's the case of people who are in Vedanta class. If you ask a stranger and ask a person here, so the person there is, what are you talking? I don't know. So that is ajnanam buddhva vadati api avadati cha. The person who is studying Vedanta, so atmanam buddhva api na kutastam janami iti vadati. Why? Because I do not know what exactly it is. Apurna jnanam, atma jnanam, apurna jnanam na anubhava jnanam. So therefore, Here, Pashyannapi sana pashyati moodaha hutara nimittam bahukruta isn't it? Jatilo mundi lunjita keshaha kashayambara bahukruta veshaha Pashyannapi sana pashyati moodaha hutara nimittam bahukruta veshaha. Wearing external garbs and external symbols of religious marks by themselves do not give you the Atma Jnanam or the clarity of your own self. But wearing all these things but not pursuing it is the tragedy of religion. Gurudev was totally against that. You might have seen in that movie where he says these people, this fooling everybody around while they, wearing that very dress or the religious mark, etc., is meant for them to concentrate upon the higher self. But instead of that, what are they? Udara nimittam, filling the belly. So here, Ajnanam Janadi Anubhavena Tadeva Pramanam. Tarkena na Ajnanam Vetum Shakyate. In other words, by Tarka you will not understand this. By argumentation, by mere logic, Tarka here is morning also I was explaining the difference between Vada and Tarka. We'll come to that. Tarka is necessary, logic is necessary, but Kutarka is not necessary. Vada is discussion, deliberation. So here, Ajnani, so Ada Nabadi Nasti Kutastaha iti Kutastaha Abhava Abhane cha Anubuya Vadati Ayam Avarana Anubhavaha Ata Ubayatra Anubhavaha Pramanam iti Bhava. Nabadi is also Anubhava Pramana, Asti the Anubhava Pramana, meaning saying I don't know and it doesn't exist because I have never seen. It is Anubhava, I don't know. And I also not seen. Therefore, that's also Anubhava. So therefore, it doesn't exist. I don't know. Both of them are Anubhava Pramana. All right. Now, this is the peculiar and most interesting, way the Vidyaranya, the methodology uses is so unique of explaining Vedanta concepts. Now, the argument is, you say avidya is of the nature of avarana. I mean, it is able to cover, conceal. It is able to conceal the self. Can darkness ever conceal light? Can darkness be covered by light? I mean, can the light be ever covered by darkness? Is it possible? Jnanam ajnanena kim avaranam avrutam bhavati. Ajnena avrutam jnanam tena muhyanti jantavah. Bhagavan himself says, Ajnanena avrutam jnanam tena muhyanti jantavah. Jantavah? Jantas. Jantavah means, Jantu means living being. We are all Jantus only. Jantavaha muhyanti. They get deluded. Why? Ajnanena avratam jnanam. So he also made that point. So katam jnanam ajnanena avratam bhavati. Sambhavati va na bhava. Possible? Ajnan, jnaan ko avan kar sakta hai. This is the Purva Bakshi's doubt. So an interesting discussion starts here. Swaprakashe kuto vidya.
Swaprakashe kuto vidya.
Tambina katamavritihi.
Tambina katamavritihi.
Ityadi tarkajalani.
Ityadi tarkajalani.
Swanubhutirgrasatyasau.
Swanubhutirgrasatyasau.
स्वप्रकाशे कुतो विद्या तां विना कथमावृतिः इत्यादि जालानि स्वानुभूतिर्ग्रसत्यसौ. Purvapakshi is necessary to clarify things because we should not take it for granted everything as said as right unless this is Purvapakshi helps us in Manana. In Manana Samaye, during the time of reflection, we should become a Purvapakshi. Then only we can clarify certain points which, otherwise later on the doubt comes, then it will be hard at the time of Dhyanam, it will come and obstruct that. Dhyana Sabaye na samshaya is allowed. So any kind of samshaya, any kind of doubt should be removed in the time of reflection. Contemplation is necessary before meditation. Gurudev always said contemplation is where you mentally deliberate upon the possible obstacles that are coming on the way. So here Purvapakshi is helping us to understand it clearly, because even if we don't ask the question, he asks for us. He's like a lawyer for you. You do not know how to argue in a court of law, but he knows. So here is the appointed lawyer. Swaprakashe Atma Swaprakasha Rupaha Na Anyena Prakashitum Sakyate. The Atman is Swaprakasha. Swaprakasha means self-illuminating, self-illumining, self-illumination, self-luminous. Swaprakashe Kutaha Avidya. That which is self-shining, like a sun or any light, how can there be avarana shakti of avidya? How can there be covering of that light which is of the nature of self-luminosity, self-lumining? So, and if the argument is very interesting, let us look at step by step, because he will prove to you that there is no avidya. The first question is, how can self-illumining self-splendent Swaprakasha Atma, how can it be covered by darkness of avidya? This is the first question. Swaprakasha Rupa Atmanah Tamo Rupa Avidya Katam Avrunoti. Swaprakasha Rupa Atmanah Tamo Rupa Avidya Katam Avrunoti. How can the self-illuminating, self-luminous being Atman can be obscured by the power of concealment of avidya, ignorance? This is question number one. Secondly, why it is so, any time when you put an argument, you must put a hetu. You must have a reason why you are saying this. He is also good in, it's not like a roadside guy who comes and argue. Paraspara virodhatvat. It's mutually contradictory. Darkness and light cannot be at the same time. Either light is there or darkness is there. Can the darkness and light stay together? My paraspara virodhatvat. Reason why I am saying this is because they mutually contradict each other. See, if there is a pot there and I cover with a cloth, possible. There is no virodha. Why? The cloth is also a matter, and the cloth is also matter, pot is also matter. So pot I can cover with a cloth. But that which is self-resplendent Paramatma, which is, and not just one candlelight. It's not a one candlelight, it is. It is what? Adityavarnam tamasa parastat. Adityavarnam. of the nature of brilliance like a sun. Now they are trying to do the artificial sun also, no? In China or somewhere they are trying to bring not the light but the power, Shakti, energy. They're trying to introduce or increase, to produce artificial sun so that our energy problem can be solved, which we derive from the sun. Anyway, so if the sun, which is the resplendence of, even Bhagavan, when he showed his Vishwarupa, Sahasra Surya Prakasha, there's thousands of sun rising up at the same time. Which cloth will you use? What will you use to cover that? So Paraspara Virodhatvat, due to the mutual contradiction there. So this is the reason. Therefore, Tasmat Avidyayam Avidyayaha Avarana Shakti Nasti. There's no possibility of avidya, because Avarana Shakti, which you are saying, avidya's one power is Avarana Shakti. Only when the Avarana is there, Vikshepa is possible. Because Vikshepa is a projection. As Gurudev would say, non-apprehension leads to misapprehension. Not knowing of the rope leads to projection of the snake. Not knowing is called Avarana. Projection of the snake is Vikshepa. If Avarana Shakti, I tell you it is not there, that is first is established. Cannot be. Why? Paraspara Virodhatvat. And so Prakasha Atma Katam Katam Avardum Shakyate Avidya. By Avidyaya Avardum Katam Shakyate. Not possible. Therefore Avidyayaha Avarana Shakti Nasti. Yadi Avarana Shakti na chet Vikshepam api nasti. Second, third step. If covering is not there, then projection is also not there. Viksheparhitatvat, there cannot be any Vikshepa possible. Therefore, Vikshepam api nasti. There is no possibility of projection. Therefore, the power which you said of avidya called Vikshepa is also not there. Hriday Vikshepe Jnanena nanashyati. Ajnanam. If you say ignorance is there, even if it is experienced, and it can go only by jnana. That is the argument of the Vedanta Shastra. So, when I misunderstood a rope to be a snake, the misunderstanding can go not by beating the rope. Chalo, go and hit the fellow, then the snake will go away from there. So the snake will not go away by you hitting it or burning it or anything, or put it in some water, pour some water on it. No. So misunderstanding of that rope to be a snake can go only by jnanam. Right? So therefore here, when we say that this ajnanam is the cause of the bondage, that is what you are establishing here. And the bondage is caused by ajnana, and ajnana is of the two types of avarana and vikshepa. Now we proved avarana is not there, vikshepa is not there, and ajnanam is not possible. Bondage continues then, and you say jnanena moksha sambhavati. How jnanam will become a means to remove this ajnana? So therefore moksha nahi hai. What is the role of moksha? Jnanam here then. Knowing does not remove the bondage. Therefore, bondage cannot be removed. Then Shastram kimartam. So, na mokshaha jnanena. Jnanena na mokshaha sambhavati. Tasmat Shastram anartyam. Shastra ka artha nahi hai. Shastrasya anartyakyam. Uselessness of the Shastra. Therefore, na adhikaritvam avashyakam. अधिकारत्व किसके लिए चाहिए? शास्त्र ज्ञान के लिए. For Shastra knowledge alone is Shama, Dhamma, Uparati, Tidiksha, Shraddha, Samadhana, इत्यादि विवेक वैराग्य आनंद. उसका नहीं थी. खाओ पियो मौज में रहोगे. Bondage anyway won't go. Why are you unnecessarily wasting your time for it? शास्त्र पढ़ने के लिए शमदम इत्यादि चाहिए, बट उसका जरूरत क्या है? So you see where he has come to down to. Finished. So I rest my case. Started with what? Swaprakash. That's the first thing he says. Swaprakashasya. Swaprakashe kuto avidya. Tam vina katama vritihi. Tam vina meaning tam vina. Avidyayam vina. Avidyayam vina. Tam is feminine. Avidyayam vina katam avritihi. Ityadi tarka jalani. This is called argumentation, or the net of argumentations, which we will not put here. Ityadi, meaning that's what the steps I gave you, that if avarana is not there, vikshepa is not possible. And vikshepa is not there, there cannot be, knowledge cannot remove the, why avarana is not possible? Because of paraspara virodha. And when avarana is not there, vikshepa, it cannot be possible. And vikshepa is not there, then there is no question of projection. It's not a projection, it's a reality. And the real thing, which is itself a rope, which is, you consider it as a projection, which is not. Therefore, bondage, whatever is being suffered, continues to be there. Jnana cannot remove that. Jnana can remove only if there is a misunderstanding. Knowledge is not an action. You're not converting the snake to become a rope. Shalom. Like milk becoming curd. You're not making any action to make that happen. It is understanding that it is misunderstood as snake. So misunderstanding can go only by understanding. Here, that is not the case. Therefore, bondage is real. It cannot go by knowledge. Therefore, jnanam na mokshasya hetuhu. Tasmat moksham, the very process of going for moksha through jnanam is vyartam. Therefore, shastram vyartam. And therefore, adhikaritvam na avashyakam. Okay. Bahut badhiya. Now, this is very interesting kind of argumentation. Now, interesting thing is one more. There are two things that we need to understand. Logicians are not using two things. One is, as it is earlier established, avidya anubhava pramanena. By anubhava pramana alone, avidya can be known. It is not pratyaksha. Correct? So, anubhava is the pramana for avidya. Second is shruti. Shruti very clearly says anadi avidya. Everything that you are talking about, nahyasya vidya, manaso vidirikta, manohya vidya, bhavavanta heduhu, tasmin vinashte, sakalam vinashtam, vijrumbidesmin, sakalam vijrumbade, and then anirvachaniya maya, all this. What is that? Maya, avidya is the cause for this bondage, etc. So, shruti pramanam api. If you do not take neither shruti pramana nor anubhava pramana, there is no way we can further go ahead with our discussion. Because the logicians, the Tarkashastra is there. They are very, very powerful ones. They have many tools. So Tarka, those who are Tarkavadinaha, they will use the tool of only Tarka. they will not use the Shruti Pramana or Anubhava Pramana. Now, let us say that you are going to a doctor and you say, I have a headache. No, then you say, let us do the scanning. Because nowadays, headache is also not take anasin, take Saridon, or no, in India, but here, Tylenol, whatever. Saridon, so anasin, I remember. In India, right? Or Vicks vapor rub. So, not Iodex. Iodex. Amrudanjan. Oh my, that fellow. The tiger bomb. So, but if you go to a doctor here, constant, terrible headache. Oh, he says, let us do a scanning. Right? What is called that? Brain scan, whatever they do. CT scan. So scan. A report came. Nothing is wrong. Everything is perfecto. So the doctor looks at everything is perfect. You have good health. But I have a headache. This is called Anubhava Praman. So can the doctor argue? No report says there is a problem. Therefore, you don't have headache. Pagal hai kya? I have headache. I know it. This is what do you call that as? Anubhava Praman. So, मेरा अनुभव है. How can you argue that it's not there? Because with paper, according to paper, you don't have a headache. Therefore, you don't have a headache. How can you do that? You can establish by tarka then. Naisham tarkena madirapaneya. Upanishad very clearly says, tarkena esha madihi na apaneya. Esha madihi atma madihi atma jnanam tarkena na apaneya. You cannot, merely by logic, you cannot prove this. So my headache, either you want it or not, whether you like it or not, you cannot say it is not there. Until you get it, you don't know. So please understand, even though Purva Pakshi is putting all the tarka, logic, to prove that there is no avidya, this is called jalam. Avaranam darkena jnatam. Swanubhavena pramanyate. Swanubhavena eva avidya pramanyate is established through the means of anubhava. Now, the logicians, if they do not take anubhava as a pramana, प्रत्यक्षम अपि अनुभवमेव. प्रत्यक्ष प्रमाण क्या है? मैं जो देख रहा हूं, I am seeing, but it's a pratyaksha. So this tumbler is there or not? Yes, all of us agree. Why? प्रमाण क्या है उसका? प्रत्यक्ष है. प्रत्यक्ष क्या? आपका अनुभव है. Is it not your experience of seeing this? Therefore, the pramana for existence of this glass is pratyaksha pramana, which is none other than anubhava. Achha, this is clear. Anubhava pramana eva pratyaksha pramana. Pratyaksha pramanam vina anumana pramanam na sambhavati. Now think. If you say there is smoke, then there should be a fire. Now, how do you know? How do you do the anumana, inference of possibility of fire there, without, first of all, using your pratyaksha pramana? Earlier, you've seen pratyakshena Agnim tata bhudumahapi. You've seen fire and the smoke together. And then, now you see the smoke and then say there must be fire. So, anumanasya hetuhu pratyaksham. Pratyaksham anubhava. Anubhavam vina. Anumana pramana abhi na sambhavati or cannot be taken. Now what he says that even though avidya is anubhava pramana, he says it's not there. As much as the doctor argues, I had a headache. First of all, I have to have a doubt whether you have a head at all before I even argue that you have a headache. Now you see, Anubhava Pramana also, we have to understand very, very carefully. How do we use the Anubhava Pramana is also important. Anubhava Pramana, we have to use it very carefully. Because Anubhavam api, even what we experience as through our eyes also, must be understood not literally. I'll come to the explanation a little later. People, totally remove the perception as false is also wrong. In Tamil Nadu, there is one group, the Pahuttarivu, is useless guys. They say whatever I see alone is correct. What I don't see doesn't exist. Kannai nambade. Don't believe the eyes. This is the argument they have. One aspect is correct. Because when I see blue sky, that's what eyes report. But there is no blue there. Don't say there's no sky there. The blueness of the sky is removed, but not the sky is not removed. Correct or not? Blueness of the sky is wrong or false, but not the sky itself. So even in the Anubhava, you have to understand what is false and what is correct. Totally removing the Anubhava Pramana as wrong, as false is also not right. Taking it completely as right is also not right. Pratyaksha, even though blueness I see, even though sunrise I see, I see sunrise and sunset, but you understand what? Not the sun is not there. Don't say that. Hey, Surya, hey. Asko Udaya and Astamana is not Surya Udaya. Even though Surya Udaya is there, in our understanding, there is a rising of the sun. But what is your knowledge about that? Sun never moves. So that Udayatvam and Astamatvam is relative reality. The way from where you are standing and looking at it. If I am standing outside the earth, then there's Surya Udaya. There is Chor Astamanam. Where is it? Is that possible? So where are you standing? So from the relative standpoint, it appears to be rising and settling down. But absolute standpoint, there is no rising and settling down of the sun. So the seeing of the sunrise and sunset is, even though perceived as pratyaksha, it is baditam. But do not say that haihina is. You are seeing the sun, that is true. But rising and the falling of the sun is false. So even though Anubhava Pramana is a Pramana, but how you use the Pramana is very important. Clear? That is where the Shastra comes in. How to understand Anubhava Pramana and use it for Tarka. Now let us see here. Therefore, as we saw, pratyaksha praman se ही अनुमान प्रमाण हो सकता है, और प्रत्यक्ष प्रमाण अनुभव प्रमाण है. अनुभवादेव तर्कः. Your tarka is also, any tarka you use, any logic you use is also born out of your anubhava only. Based upon what are you saying about the prakashatva of Atman, etc., that you are arguing, or any pramana that you are using on your own logic is also pratyaksha praman. If you are using, that is also anubhavateva jayate. So anubhavateva tarka pramanam api. Tarkaha api anubhavateva. The logic is also you are using based upon the anubhava only. If you are using pratyaksha and anumana pramana, they are all originally starting from anubhava. So therefore, the next verse is important. What does he say? Swanubhutava vishwase
स्वानुभूताव विश्वासे
tarkasyapyanavastitehe
तर्कस्याप्यनवस्थितेः
kadam va tarkikam manyah
कथं वा तार्किकं मन्यः
तत्त्वनिश्चयमाप्नुयात्
तत्त्वनिश्चयमाप्नुयात्
स्वानुभूतावविश्वासे तर्कस्याप्यनवस्थितेः कथं वा तार्किकं मन्यः तत्त्वनिश्चयमाप्नुयात् स्वानुभूतौ इति. That is added there. It's, I don't know whether in your English version it's not there. The Swanubhuta Vidhi is a commentary. Vishwasa is trust, faith. Swanubhuto avishwase. In your own experience, there is no faith. In your own Swanubhuti, 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 Swa, one's own, Anubhuti, Anubhava. Swanubhutau, in that Swanubhutau, in that very personal experience of yours, one's own experience, there is a disbelief. Why is he saying that before? Why is he saying that you do not have Vishwasa in your own experience? As we saw here, Tarkajalani, or the entire Swanubhuti grasati. Asau Tarkajalani, earlier verses said that this entire argumentation that you have put alone is only swallowing up all the Swanubhuti. It completely negates Swanubhuti. Why? We are saying, even you put for the logic that according to the paper you don't have a headache. What has happened? Your real headache has been swallowed up by your argumentation. What is really experienced by me, you are completely saying it is not. Meaning what? You are not believing in your own personal experience. And without that experience, there cannot be pratyaksha, because pratyaksha is based upon one's own Swanubhuti only, and pratyaksha alone gives rise to Anuman. Inference is not possible without reference. Inference, meaning what? According to reference, earlier reference. Earlier reference is earlier experience of mind. And that alone establishes the final inferential knowledge. How do I infer that there is smoke? Because I have seen the fire and smoke, and wherever there is smoke, there must be fire. If I walk out of this room and the whole place is wet, I know that it has rained and therefore the whole place is wet. I've seen the rain and I've seen it wetting the entire road. Therefore, when I see the wetness in the road, I conclude, infer, there was rain when I was inside. So that is only earlier. So Anubhuti alone can lead to Anuman. In that Anubhuti, if you do not have Vishwasa, Swanubhuto Avishwase. If then there is no Vishwasa in the Swanubhuti, Anubhave Avishwasa Chet, Katam Tarke Vishwasa. Tarka is born out of Anubhav only. So Tarke Katam Vishwasa. How do you have belief in your logic then? The logic is based upon what? What is experienced by your buddhi. Because you are not believing in Shastra. Right? Because I can quote the Shastra and tell you that it is there. Avidya is one which covers the Atman. That I can prove it to you. But then you are not believing in Shruti, therefore I have to come in your way only. In your way means what? You're saying, according to logic, I can prove that there is no avidya. But point is that you are not, your tarka is based upon anubhuti, and in anubhuti itself is you are not believing. How without the anubhuti tarka is possible, and how you can therefore have any vishwasa on tarka which you are putting there? Anubhave avishwasah chet katam tarke vishwasah. That's what he's asking. Swanubhuto avishwase tarkasya api anavastite. Avastita means proof. Avastita means establishment. Avastitaha. So, anavastitaha. Anavastitehe bhavati. Anavastitehe. Of the argument that you are putting forth as is also have no firm basis. That's what anavastitehe. And so the logic is not final, it is not conclusive. Therefore, Tarkiktam Manyaha Katam Tattva Nischayam Apnuyat. One who merely goes by the logic, a dry logic of one's own, Tarkikam Manyaha, one you are merely going by reasoning alone, Katam Tattva Nischayam Apnuyat. How does he understand the essential nature of the self? By merely proving that by logic. Anubhutim vina anumana pramanam apinasti pratyaksham avishwasah che pratyaksha avishwasah says anumane kadam vishwasah. This is what I was talking to you about. If you don't now see, for seeing the wetness of the ground, I have concluded that the wetness of the ground, therefore there must be rain. Now, आपको किसमें विश्वास है? In your eyes. Do you believe in your eyes also or not? So you must have some on which you have vishwasa. So if you are seeing that wetness in the ground with your eyes, that means your vishwasa in your eyes at least. If you do not have vishwasa in your eyes, if you do not have a faith in your eyes, and what kind of an argument you continue proceed? No way you can establish anything there. That's why he says, there is no possibility of using your tarka to establish anything because your vishwasa is not there in anything. Swanubhuti is vishwasa nahi hai. In your own eyes, there is no vishwasa. Shruti, you do not have vishwasa. Pratyaksha, then you have no vishwasa. Anumana, there is no vishwasa. Then, how do you tattva nishyam kadam apniya? How do you then finally reach the solution? See, anubhava also is of two kinds. Baditam, abaditam. Badita anubhava, abadita anubhava. Iti dvivida bhavati. What is badita anubhava? Swapna. not the one who's sitting there. Swapna. Swapnam, the dream, even though anubhutam, katam bhaditam bhavati jagrata avasthayam. Jagrata avastha mein, waking state in which, even though experienced by me, it become bhaditam. Correct. So anubhava is also cannot be taken, as I said, 100% as correct. If I'm seeing the sun and sunrise, I said it is true. Based upon what logic? Because my eyes are seeing that sun is rising. Now you have to further go. What eyes are reporting is correct or not? Yes, it is correctly seeing that sun rise. But then you go further to prove. What is the proof for that? It is Shastra Praman. What is Shastra Praman? Scientists. I have never seen going outside the earth. Oh, now only I know that what? Sun doesn't move. How do you know? How do you know sun is not moving and earth is moving? What is your praman for that? So now you see Shastra Praman. So you cannot take. So when the Shastra Pramana comes, then Anubhava Pramana becomes Baditam now. It supersedes it. So here you should understand. So not all Anubhava Pramana are 100% correct. You know, Bhagavan Shankaracharya, Shrutimata Tarka Anusandhiyata. है कि नहीं? साधना पंचकम में श्रुतिमत तर्कोनुसंधीयताम क्यों कहा? Why did he use that word? I will explain it in the next class. How Shruti's tarka is correct. Not kutarka. Not your logic. Om sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramayaah, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kasyid dukkha bhavet. Om shanti shanti shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namah.